What is good, guys? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I'm going to break down what's going on with the overall market and talk about some very important things that are going on with Tesla stock. I'm also going to talk about Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of tickers out there, and talk about what's going on with the data dropping for the week, what the formations and patterns are suggesting for the markets, and some very important levels to watch for today. But before I do anything like this, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take none of this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks plus a $50 cash reward. The offer ends in just 3 days, so check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. All right, guys, so just for today, I just want to remind everyone that we have the Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index coming out 1 hour after the market opens, or at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And when it comes to Tesla, let me just mention, I'm not really seeing any major pieces of news so far. Compared to yesterday, I'm just not really seeing anything new so far, so I'm not going to talk about any Tesla news for now. But if something comes out over the next 30 minutes, or by the time the market opens, just watch for the news on Tesla, because I am recording this an hour before the market actually opens. Looking at some data, though, just as a reminder, we have a very big week this week towards the end of the week. We have the PCE data coming out for Thursday, and then we also have the unemployment numbers for Friday all coming out this week. It's going to be very important. For earnings coming out, we have NEO and Best Buy for Tuesday. For Wednesday, we have a couple of others such as Salesforce. Then for Thursday, we have Dollar General. Nothing too massive for the week, but I do think NEO and Best Buy and Tuesday in general is going to be one of the biggest days for the earnings week. When it comes to IPOs, we have Instacart and a couple of others coming out. We also have SoftBank, which is owned by Japan. That's going to be very, very interesting too. Some new IPOs are worth watching. Evergrande is not looking so great. It dropped to 87% upon its open. But don't forget, it filed for Chapter 15 bankruptcy. Then we're seeing more volatility on stocks like Bed Bath & Beyond. They're actually making some headlines, but they also filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy not too long ago, which is very sad. And, they're going to be closing a lot of their stores, unfortunately. And, it is what it is. This happens to a lot of businesses. We just have to move on. We have to carry on regardless of that. So how is Tesla looking? I just want to mention to everyone that Tesla has an ascending wedge as of right now, but it could try to invalidate this by continuing to break out. Tesla is currently testing this resistance right here at this 200 EMA around this 244 area. So if we switch over to where our 200 EMA is, I actually have it on the other chart. It's a little harder to see with all the lines. Basically, it's this red line right here on the 4-hour time frame. The 200 EMA is around this 244.5 area. We're going to be watching that as resistance on Tesla. If Tesla could break this, it's going to start pushing higher. The technicals do look more bullish for the market as of right now. And if it projects off this, it could start, it could come right back down to 240 or lower. So far, it's looking like Tesla's trying to break out in the pre-market. We're going to be watching to see if this could break out or not. And if it does break this 244 resistance, you're going to be watching 245.75. 247.5, and potentially even 250 if it tries to keep going from there. That is a real possibility. But even if it does push up like that, we could always get a rejection, and come right back down. Now, if Tesla ends up getting a rejection from here at this 244 area, because we did get rejected here the last time we came to this level. It could sink right back down. It's about 238 or so. It doesn't have to go this low. I just had this drawn out as a hypothetical. What's good about Tesla though is that it invalidated the head and shoulders basically. This has been invalidated, the head and shoulders formation, as it broke the high of the head. But we're going to be watching, because there's this ascending wedge that's starting to form right here. We're going to be watching if this truly ends up getting a break to the downside, or if this thing tries to continue going. We're at resistance. We're fighting resistance right now. It's just going to be a fight, and we'll just have to wait and see. But so far, we're getting some bullish signals from other stocks that suggest that Tesla may actually get the breakout. Now, here's the thing about it. If you look at SPY, SPY has this head and shoulders that technically has not invalidated it. We talked about this yesterday. If we get this rejection off 442, this thing could come right back down below 440 and start sinking. If we break above it, watch this resistance around the very low 442s. If we break this, 444 is going to come. If that breaks, then it can start pushing to these highs again, and we're going to likely get that breakout. Right now, it's looking like the odds favor the breakout, but just to be safe, we're going to be watching the resistance levels, and they're going to be pivotal for the current setup. So we're going to be watching if this head and shoulders ends up developing, or if we truly get some kind of breakout. Now, on the QQQ, I just wanted to mention to everyone that on the QQQ, we also have a head and shoulders that is developing so far, but we also have just on Tesla, we have this like rising wedge like pattern that is developing so far. These don't always play out, they don't always guarantee anything. So you want to be open minded. And what this basically tells me is this rising wedge right here. What this tells me is there's a possibility of a rejection for the right shoulder for the QQQ. You guys can see how there's like a head and shoulders. And if that's the case, we're going to see this thing break right back down below 363. But if this thing tries to invalidate this ascending wedge and this head and shoulders, it could keep pushing for 370 to fill these imbalances. So there's a bullish and bearish case. Right now, the bullish case is looking a little bit more probable because of Apple and the dollar. But just to be safe, I want to be open-minded and see if we can truly get the break or not. So we're just going to be watching this by the time we open with all the data dropping from the Fed manufacturing index. Do we get this rejection or do we try to break out? This is going to be the big test. And it is looking more likely like it's going to try to break out once you see what Apple's looking like and etc. Apple, compared to the other stocks, looks a little bit more bullish. It looks like it may try to help the market. It is testing resistance right now around this 180 area. If 180 breaks on Apple, we're going to be watching like 180.7, these imbalances. 181.3 is going to come, followed by this test of this high. If it breaks and holds 180, that is very possible. It's going to push to like 183 at least. If it fails, I guess this rejection off 180, it could start sinking all the way back down to like 178 or lower. 176 could come, and that's going to slow the market down. From a technical standpoint, right now, okay, it looks more bullish. We have like a cup and handle like formation. It looks more bullish. It looks like Apple's going to try to break out. That seems more probable. It looks more likely like the market's going to try to break out thanks to this. But just to be safe, we need to see Apple hold 180. We're still waiting for that test. We're currently testing I think we're very close to this resistance zone as well. So we're very close to resistance on Apple. Just watch to see if it can break or not. Nvidia is in a very critical level. Nvidia right now, okay, if you look at it, this thing is it has this market structure that's like kind of bearish looking, and we're going to see if this thing could try to invalidate that for now. So the market structure is telling us that this thing's making lower highs and lower lows, dropping, right? You guys can see from the last couple of days. Here's the thing about it. The question is, will we continue on that trend? Is Nvidia going to continue to make this new low, or is Nvidia trying to bounce right here? Is it about to give us some kind of bounce? There could be like a head and shoulders like pattern forming here, so we're going to just watch to see if that plays out or not, or if this thing could establish a new structure. What is a new structure? I want to see Nvidia make higher highs and higher lows. It's trying to start right now. We need to see it during the open hours. We need to see Nvidia try to bounce from here. My guts tells me because of this imbalance, it's going to hit 470 and then break even higher than that. But just to be safe, we need to see it bounce from here. We need to see a true change in market structure. So far, it's not really valid. I can't really say it with 100% certainty. So the best thing to do is try to be as open-minded as possible. So we're going to be watching how this ends up playing out. We're going to try to be as open-minded as possible, and we're going to be watching these different resistance levels. So watch this on Nvidia, see if we get some kind of change in market structure or not. That is going to be key for these different levels. And we're going to be watching if it gets some kind of rejection. So it's going to be very important. It's going to be key. To add on to this, let me just mention that when it comes to other tickers out there, if you look at like SPY is at resistance. We're very close to this like resistance right here at this like 442 level. Watch to see if it can break out or not. If the market does break, if we get above our 200 EMA, that's going to help Tesla and the entire market start pushing. Apple looks more bullish. I just also want to add that the dollar index is looking kind of bearish as we have a bearish divergence. If the dollar ends up breaking down, if you look at the 4 hours, looking more bearish. If it does break down a little bit, that could be bullish for the markets. That's going to be very important. It's sitting at support at 104. We'll see if that holds or not. And the VIX right now, we're just going to be watching to see if this head and shoulders plays out. It has like a head and shoulders forming. If it plays out, you're going to be watching support. If it holds or not, if that breaks, it's going to start sinking to fill this gap. If that ends up being the case, it's going to be because of the market pushing. So just to be honest with you all, we have bullish and bearish signals. We have these like strange formations on like SPY and the QQQ that are looking like not the best because we have the head and shoulders, right? But the technicals and the other technicals out there, the dollar and etc., are telling us the market's going to try to push. So it's very mixed. In my opinion, it looks more like SPY is going to try to keep pushing. Same thing with like Tesla and etc. But we'll watch and see how they end up performing as we have some ascending wedges on Tesla and the QQQ. And we're just going to be watching our resistance. So far, we're looking more bullish than bearish, but just to be safe, we want to be open-minded. And with that said, I thank you all so much for listening. So have a great day, everyone. Remain calm, cool, and collected. I'll see you guys in the next video. Please take care and peace out.